Yes, but it's good. I won't complain. It's
Uh,
good. I'm good. I'm good. I had a little frustrations, but nothing to mention.
okay. Okay. Well, that's fine. If you want to talk about that, that's fine. If you want to
How are you?
vent about that,
What?
if you want to vent about that, that's
No, I mean, there would be nothing positive. So
oh, okay.
I like spreading positivity.
There you
It
go.
doesn't mean
There you
that
go.
it's toxic. Do you know about toxic positivity?
I've heard of the term before.
Yeah.
I was accused of that once upon a
Oh,
time. Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Can you tell more about that?
I coached someone without their permission.
Oh, they didn't. Okay.
And they
Mm,
didn't like
yeah.
that. It was
Yeah.
yeah, and I felt really it was kind of in my early days as a coach, and I thought I was being helpful, but it turns out I was not being helpful. So
Yeah,
it
that's
turns out you
true.
don't don't coach someone without their permission. You always
Yes.
ask permission.
Yes. Yes, that I think that was some of the things that I learned, and I'm trying. It's hard because we can't undo who we are because
Right.
coach is what we are all the time
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I also have to make sure that when I'm with my friends or when I'm in situations that I'm not looking at it with my coaching
Right,
eyes.
right, right. You want to be a friend as opposed to a coach,
Exactly.
and a
Exactly.
friend is going to commiserate. Is that the right word? Commiserate with you.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not going to say, well, look at this way, and think about it this way.
Exactly.
They're not going to do that.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
and you know and from a friend you don't want that either.
You don't want that.
You
Sometimes you
want
just want to be like, yeah, yourself,
right.
and you don't want, you're not necessarily like, I think that's what Eric Lofam said. People need encouragement more than they need
Yes,
advice. And
yes, yes.
although when we are coaching, we're not necessarily giving advice. We're pushing people to find
Right,
their truth. So we're
right.
asking questions, and sometimes it's not just the moment, the right time in
Yeah,
the heat of
you
the
know,
action.
yeah. If somebody's saying, you know, I can't believe they did that and all this stuff, and you're saying, well, how does that make? How do you feel when you know
And the person is like, what? I'm
yeah,
like,
you
yeah.
don't want to do that. You just want to be there as a friend. Yeah.
It's true. I like the asking permission, I
Yes.
think it's a sign of respect and say, well, there is something I'm noticing. Are you willing me, can I share
Yeah.
that with you?
Yeah.
And yeah, and the person can say yes or no. And based
Yes.
on that,
Exactly.
yes, we go ahead.
Exactly.
It's good. That's how we learn though, by making
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. But I felt bad about it for a long time. I felt it's
Why
like,
did
oh
you
my.
feel bad? Why can you tell
Well,
more about that?
it was
See,
just
I'm not coaching you. I'm just in a conversation with
it,
you.
it was
I'm
just
just in a conversation.
it's just like wow, this person really needed me to listen and not to say, well, you know, the way you're thinking about this is not the way. They just needed me to listen. They needed me to be there and listen, and
Listen, and
I wasn't
sometimes to
doing that.
talk to them, because when we are coaching, we like not to give advice or our what we feel about it, because we want the person
Mhm.
to find his own
Yeah,
truth, right? But
yeah,
so when you're with a friend, what the friend will want with you is to talk it through with you.
yes,
So
yeah,
he doesn't necessarily want you to be like a psychologist or a coach who is not
right,
going to necessarily say what he thinks about it.
right, right, yeah. That was almost exactly a year ago. Come to think of it, that was
There you go.
yeah. It
And
was
you've learned a lot since then, right?
I have learned a lot since then, and one of the big lessons was you don't coach somebody without without their permission.
Yes. And so I was frustrated because I bought a jacket, and actually I bought two jackets, and I went to return one of them, but I didn't go into the same store because you can go in any store.
Uh,
And they gave me a hard time, and I was frustrated. And actually it made me realize that one of the things about Friends, I love everything about Friends, and I'm
mhm.
so proud to be French, but we're not very good at customer service. And
Mm.
those kind of little things reminded me why I love being in the States, because customer service is everything in the US. And
Usually, I don't know if I'll.
for me, it has always been, I've always
I've
had,
had some experiences that were
really,
disappointing. Yeah.
yeah. Probably because nothing is perfect, right? But generally speaking, waiters and people in stores, the places I go are very kind, and they really want to help you.
Yeah.
But in France, especially in Paris, and I think it's really unique to Paris because of the density. There are a lot of people, and most of the people who are in Paris during the day don't live in Paris. It's very
They
expensive
commute. Yeah.
to live downtown.
Yeah.
So people, they commute for hours, to come here.
Mhm.
And so they're less patient. So people complain a lot and they manifest their frustration and unhappiness. And what I have noticed is that most of the time when you come for something, they will say no first, and then they will look to see if they can help you. Their first reaction, the first answer is always pushy. And then they will, and that's something that that we all know, and we even laugh about it. Like there is a newspaper called The Parisian, and when they do advertisement on that magazine, they will, for example, show somebody who is cutting the you on the streets, or somebody whose dog will poop and they will not pick it up. They'll just look if there is nobody, and then they will leave it and and go. So little things like that. That's how they advertise on The Parisian, because The Parisian is known to not be very nice.
Yeah.
I experienced that today.
I think
I'm sorry.
My
friend is
that's you. Okay, that's not some weird echo from. So actually,
Je suis en tout le monde t'entend. Sorry. She's over the phone. Actually, she's ordering our dinner. And,
awesome.
I'm sorry, she forgot that.
That's one of the perils of live broadcasting is.
It is.
You just take it as it comes.
Yeah. And I'm not home. I'm not in my quiet office and everything. Yes.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you in this. I was thinking about this after seeing your post this morning about how well you handle something that's I would call it a blast from the past. So Facebook serves you up something, and it's like, oh well.
Yes.
I thought that was beautiful the way you handled that.
Yeah. Usually I don't like to go into details about my private life, but I do share openly about me. And so what I want to say that is I was reading a book, and actually I'm reading a book. It's in French. I think you would have loved it. And it's a story of 30 women. And I think, did you read the newsletter today?
I skimmed through it. So I could see my picture.
And we changed kind of the editorial order, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, but in my editorial, what I write is that I'm reading that book, and the name of the book is I Wouldn't Be Here If. And it made me think. It was on Sunday. Yeah. When I was driving to my brother, I was reading it. Not when I was going to my brother. I took the metro, and it made me think. And I was like, oh yes, and I just made the parallel with my own life. And today, when I saw that memory 7 years ago, it was a beautiful time. It was a beautiful. I remember when we went and we took those pictures. It was awesome, and it was awesome. So it has to remain awesome.
Yes.
And so I wanted to honor that. And also to say that, what, if I had to do it again, I will do it again.
Right.
Because who I am today is because of all of my life. If I would
that's so
one
beautiful.
little detail, I wouldn't be the me that I am today. And I am very happy with who I am today.
Yeah. I would say the same thing for me. It's like if I had to change anything about my past, I would not. No, because it happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen. And I think we talked about this before, maybe a couple of episodes ago. Like if I had the opportunity to trade places with anyone, I would not do that either.
Yes. And I said that in my the post I did for my birthday too. And I'm
Yeah.
like, there is this question: who would you want to be with? Like whom? I'll be just me.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
me.
just me, because there's no,
Yeah,
like Michael Singer mentions in his book, the Living Untethered, and
living in
I'm sure he
tether.
mentions it other places, but in all the 13.8 billion years of the universe, in all the vast expanse of the galaxies, there's only one you. There's only
Yes.
it's only happened one, as far as we know, anyway, right? It's only happened one time,
Or
and
if
you are
God created
unique.
you, he created uniquely you. It says you were
Yes.
wonderfully and purposefully made, just you. So whatever you believe in, right?
Mhm.
Whether creationism or like, yeah, it's you're unique, you're
Yeah.
wonderful,
Yeah.
and embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to the other thing is, because I was thinking about this for myself. I don't have Facebook serves me up memories on a daily basis, probably, but
Really?
I don't have any of my my ex-wife or of my girlfriend, because she wasn't on Facebook, and so she didn't want her picture out there, and none of that has ever served up to me where I could say,
My
wonder how
husband
I,
is not on Facebook either. But I had posted pictures of him, or just
uh,
not all the time, or vacations, or time with the kids.
yeah, yeah. With my ex-wife, around the time we both discovered Facebook was around the time that our marriage started fraying, and
Mm.
we didn't do a lot of things together after that. And there are occasional pictures. This would have been when Corvo was in kindergarten, first grade, or something like that. But there weren't a lot, because that was before, when we would have taken pictures was before the time that we discovered social media, I guess,
I understand, yeah.
which is
And
really interesting.
yeah, I guess yes, it's good to, like, for me, it's like, yeah, whatever happens, when you have we say in French, du recul, when you've processed it through, when you are in peace with whatever,
Mhm.
if you're at a good place today. um if you see it's maybe it's resilience, right? The capacity
Yeah,
to bounce back, or to, some would say, make lemonade out of lemons.
yeah, yeah, right, yeah,
Or some will say, don't throw the baby with the bathwater, right?
yeah.
Because if you take out one thing, then you won't have the other thing that you're
Mhm.
enjoying. So
Yeah, and I always see the, like, I don't know, Photoshop. I'm thinking advertisements for Photoshop. I don't know why, because I've never seen an advertisement for Photoshop. But the idea that you can take a picture and you can remove a
yes,
person from that picture, or the idea
or
that, let's
add.
say,
Mhm.
if you have a Facebook account and a lot of it is about your relationship with somebody, and all of a sudden that relationship's end, and so you go back and you wipe all the pictures, you delete all the pictures of that, or something. It's like,
It's sad. I think memories should be there, untouched. And I am in a landmark forum still, and I'm doing some of the work. And today, because it was last night on Thursday, and because it was 2 a.m. here,
mhm,
because of the 6-hour difference, I wasn't able to be on it. And somebody called me just to give me a quick summary. And they were talking about the difference between recalling and remembering. And they say
mm,
that
yeah,
recalling is just stating the facts. What happened, where did it happen, when it did happen, and who was concerned. But
mhm,
remembering is telling those 4 things, but with your
right,
emotions. And
it's mixed.
so
Yeah,
that makes it a story.
yeah,
And that's not the fact. So
yeah,
yeah, I thought that was really interesting, because usually, if, for example, you have an issue with someone, you will remember, you want to recall it, because if you just state the
right,
facts, you
right,
probably wouldn't be upset or have all of those negative feelings, because it's how you interpret things.
yeah,
It's your thoughts,
yeah,
about the
yeah,
things that happen. It's the meaning you attributed to
yeah,
those things. So I
yeah.
thought it was interesting.
Yeah, the flip side of that, though, is that for I think for everybody, stories are how we relate to each other, and
Yes.
so our story, even though it's a fabrication, even though it's the facts mixed with our emotions and mixed with our perceptions, it's the story is what most people find interesting, and that's how we share
I
things
agree.
with
I agree. But if
yeah.
it has to be like to nourish us positively, it has to be a story that that is good, that is fun.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
usually, if it's a negative story, when there is a lot of resentment and things like that, I wonder what good it makes, to remember those things or to tell those stories.
yeah,
I would prefer to tell beautiful stories to myself,
yeah,
to choose, like when we talk about conscious creation, again, we always come to that. I will choose like what I said this morning. It was a beautiful memory.
yeah,
So I would choose to keep the beauty on it and not attribute it, all some of the negative things that happened later on or
yeah,
before.
yeah. But what I especially liked is when you said I wouldn't change a thing
I
about
would not
that.
change a
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
that's the
I
best
wouldn't
part.
change a
Yeah,
thing. Yes, I think I wouldn't. There was a lot of good. And
yeah,
even the bad turned out to be good. So it's good.
yeah, yeah. Well, all
Should we stop and here? Yes.
we are at 15. So can you believe that?
That's
It's like
wonderful.
it goes so fast. Anyway, thank you all for joining us this morning. After I guess it's afternoon here and it's evening where you are. So
Yes, it's 9.
yeah,
Yes.
so we'll go ahead and stop and join us again, and
Yes.
we'll see you later.
See you.
Bye. All right.
Yeah.
Boom.